Hello, welcome pen friends. Today's going to be a first impressions video. I have here a new dip pen, and it is by Pilot, and they're calling it Iro-Utsushi. Okay, I probably said that wrong, but it's a medium nib, and I'm super excited about this. My pen friend Carol brought it to my attention some time ago, and I had been sort of in a disorganized way checking back periodically to see if I could find one, and I finally did last week at Yoseka Stationery. So I ordered this in a medium nib. It's a Pilot medium, so it's going to be pretty thin for me, but my whole intent on getting this is to help me with little samples and checking, doing tests for my videos where I really don't want to have a whole bunch of pens inked up with a finer nib. I just want to get a little bit of an idea how they do with this. So this was really exciting to me. Those of you who know me know that I really love my Serendipities, which are a hybrid dip pen. They have the fountain pen nib and feed. And we'll do some comparison with that pen later on in the video. But I thought, I watched a video that they did on their channel, the Yoseka Stationery, and I thought, gee, that looks really handy for someone like me. And it was $10.50 at the time that I got it. So being able to find it here stateside was a good thing because I couldn't afford the shipping if it was coming from overseas. So I think what we'll do is we'll clean the nib. I haven't touched it other than to just carefully take it out of here. Actually, let's look at the packaging first because I want you to see how it comes. I'm not sure about this set, but I knew that washed out against my lighter color, I wouldn't even be able to see the pen. So I'm just going to kind of give this a try, and hopefully you'll be able to see. So it just comes in a nice recyclable cardboard packaging, which is kind of minimal, which is nice. The end of it has this nice rubber cover over it when you get it, and I think I just need to not lose it because that's perfect as far as I'm concerned. So it just kind of sits into this and then just rests there. And it was all sealed up. You know, this part, I broke the seal to open it because I couldn't wait to look at it. So that's it as far as the packaging. And I noticed it also comes in fine nib, which depending on how I like this, I probably would like a fine and a medium. That is how I did with my Pilot Metropolitan. I have a fine and a medium. So that would be kind of fun later on, depending on whether I like it. So, okay, I got a little water here so we can clean it. Just gonna kind of swirl and dip it, and then we'll do some writing and see how this goes. It does look like a really nice medium nib. It'll be fine because that's how the Japanese nibs are, but really neat. Now on their video, they said you just dip it up to that little wavy line, which is, let's see if I'll take advantage of this cardboard packaging to kind of give us something for it to focus on. There's a little wavy line right where the little breather hole is, and she said just dip it up to theirs is enough. So that's pretty neat. My first question was whether or not it would fit in the sample vials. So let's check that out. This is an empty one, just for me being able to, yeah, and it does. Fits right in there. Now, depending on how much you have of the sample, you might have to kind of swirl, and we'll get into that. It's just that the one that I really want to try first is the Pilot pink that I love. This one is one of my favorites. And then I even thought about trying it with Herbin Poussiere de Lune, which is a purple that's nice and dark and flowy, and I thought we'd try just a couple. And maybe Colorverse Red Shift. So anyway, we'll get an idea whether this is going to work or not. If it doesn't, But yeah, that has plenty of space to put it in. Anyway, this is kind of a raw video, but I'm excited. So this is 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. Let's see if we can maybe be a little closer. I guess I could have done that to begin with, but sometimes it's difficult with focus, camera focus, depending on what happens. So where do we start? Well, let's start with the Pilot ink. It is a Pilot pen. And this is my favorite. I think it's my favorite Pilot ink. Okay, I may not be able to see too good how far in. Yeah, but obviously I don't have to go nuts with the dip. Oh, I did go nuts. Okay. Yeah. It would have been easier to see had I been using the sample vial. Now, one of my other questions was, you know, how much, because I always, with a glass nib, I always kind of make sure I'm not throwing ink on the paper. But I'm not going to do too much. I'm just going to kind of let it be, and we'll see. When I saw their samples written with a fine nib, I thought, oh, I should have gotten a fine nib too. They just didn't have one, so it's a new thing. So my experience with new things like this is that it'll take a while for supply to catch up, or with demand, basically. Okay, it's Pilot. I better put a cover on that. Nice and smooth. Okay, didn't go too far, so I probably shouldn't have. I did not see her slide the nib to take ink off, so I'll tell you what. I think I'll put a little bit into the vial so that you can see better. Okay, so now I have about 2 ml in a regular little sample vial. I'm going to dip from there. This time I'll really be able to see. And I'll let the ink stay there. I won't be taking it off. We'll see how that goes. I knew this was going to be kind of a raw video. It's my first dipping and writing with it. That's much better. Yeah, that was just me being silly, taking too much of the ink off the nib. Okay, and this is a model of the pen. Well, that's the ink. Oh my goodness. Medium. That's nice. That's really nice. Okay, let's see how much we get from it. I mean, it won't be like one with a feed, I'm sure. But that's neat. That's good. I'm actually really glad I got the medium, because for me that's very fine. So the quick brown fox jumps off. Oh, jumps off a cliff, I guess. That's just about okay. So there we have it right there. It's, you know, it needs another dip. No big deal. Actually, I was thinking about maybe using just a tiny little, something that I would normally use with paint, and just put a little tiny bit of ink down on a little pan, because it really doesn't take that much. That's neat. And I'll get better at it, I'm sure. Not going up too far, because you see what I did. And that's just typical of me, to dip too much into the ink too much. Okay, so here we are. I can totally see doing these, like doing these cards. Okay, I have 2 of that one. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and write on the back. Well, it doesn't matter what I write. Yeah, this is going to be very handy. And you won't be trapping or wasting ink or using too much if you're only trying to do a small amount. I am not sorry about purchasing this at all. My only hope is that they become more available. And I think they will if people like them. So, okay, let's get that color off there. And we'll see how I did too, because knowing me, I've got ink all the way up into there. Probably, but... Huh, interesting. Okay. So I would say right off the bat, just not to get carried away with the dipping. Got a little in there, but I'm not concerned because this time I will be more careful about the dipping. Okay. All right, let's see what's next. Well, I really wanted to try this dark purple because I wanted to see what would happen. So let's see if I can dip it without drowning it. Well, yeah. See how quickly it I don't know if you can see that, but it does kind of quickly get up to that little line there. So that's probably enough. We shall find out. It's a little humid here this morning, and it's a beautiful morning, even though it's humid. And little Mr. Willie wanted to hide from his medications, so he got in between the palm trees. I mean, the banana trees, the leaves, and we had to kind of go out there with treats and trick him out and give him his medicine outside. So, oh gosh. But we considered ourselves lucky that we pulled it off, because he's now onto us. He knows exactly what's happening. This is J. Herbin. Oh, wow. I like how that looks. Poussiere de Lune. It's pretty. Yeah, that's nice. I think I hear Christmas music in the background. Jumps. If I'm not mistaken, that went pretty good. Okay, it's out of ink. But you know, I'm used to my Serendipities. So after we do one more color, we'll do some comparisons. And this isn't a review. I may come back and do a formal review later, but just having opened it, I'm not ready to review it. I just wanted to take you along for the journey of kind of enjoying this new pen. I predict I'm going to use it a lot. I already really like it. Okay, this is a tiny little thing. It may not go in there. Yeah, it will. It'll just be hard to see, though. Okay, I'll have to make sure my ink is slanted in my favor. There we go. Not a big deal. If I didn't have to look over the edge of various eyeglasses, I'd probably be all set. Okay. So, Colorverse. Ooh, nice. Red Shift. Oh, that's nice. But Colorverse ink, J. Herbin ink, and Pilot ink. They're three of my favorite brands. So, you know, I know they're juicy ink, so it might not be fair. There are probably a few other different types that I could try with it and see how it goes. But just for an initial, you know, check-in, I think this is good. Yeah, the quick red. I haven't had breakfast yet. I haven't broken my fast yet. So, okay, this is a neat example here of something my friend was asking me just the other day. She had mentioned that with her Serendipity, and that's this pen, some inks, the ink finished really quickly, and others it didn't. But if you notice, the Red Shift really finished quickly. And yeah, I do think there's a difference in inks. Of course, it's not totally scientific. Our dipping is not precisely machine-like the same every time either. So that could make a difference. But I noticed that being way different than either of these. So that's interesting too. But that's more than enough for me to do when I'm assessing a new ink and putting it down on the little Col-O-ring index card, and for instance, and that's pretty neat. I really like this. First impression, very favorable. And the prices would really make a lot of people happy. I mean, this pen was a lot more expensive, and I don't know what they're going for now. And I had to get it from Australia. I am not sorry, but it definitely, you know, it was a big major purchase, where this was a smaller purchase with channel money, and I managed it real good, and I still saved my money for the rickshaw Sinclair that I'm going to be purchasing next week. So yeah, let's do the comparisons. Okay, now I've got a little bit of felt because I really don't know how we're going to manage these pens, and this could distort color, but I think you'll get a pretty good idea. So here we are. We can do a little measurement too, things like that. But let's try just a quick measurement. Oh, okay, I don't want you flying away. Approximately 142 millimeters. But let's see how it compares right side by side with the, is the whole pen in there? Yeah. Serendipity. This is the Robert Oster James Phineas Serendipity, and it has a number 6 nib in it, very close in size. What else do we have? We have a Pilot Metropolitan. I'm going to go ahead and take off the cap, and this is a medium nib as well. Okay, here's the mini. This is the Serendipity mini. A lot smaller. And okay, I have a pen here that this is a little shameful. I have not written with this. I purchased it a long time ago. It is still in its little package. An automatic pen. Whoops, I've got ink all over me. The automatic pen is quite a bit bigger. Actually, it's out of the frame and everything. Oh my, let's see. Doesn't look real pretty, but at least you can see. I also have a Speedball nib holder and a C5 nib in it. Way longer, you know. Can't even line them up, but because of it having that long tapered nib. I mean, body. Good heavens. I guess I need some protein in me. Okay, let's put the cap on this. Doesn't matter. It's not inked up right now. So there we have it. You know, that's just an assortment of my dip pens. I have a few more that sort of are running around. Like I have this Caran d'Ache nib holder with a Speedball C3, C5? That's another C5. Okay. It's a little bit smaller and more sleek. I love to use those just to test out too, but to be honest, I really would rather have a fountain pen nib, whether it has the feed or not, just for a quick jot like that. That's a parallel. Okay, and then another pen that is in this sort of category is, of course, my favorite glass nib pen, which is this one, the Moon Man. And it's totally different because it lays down quite a bit more ink at a time, and it can be frustrating in that aspect where, as you could see here, of course, I needed to get my dipping just right, and I'd say I did really good with the second, third, and fourth little trial there. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm very favorable toward it. Let me see what happens when we weigh it. It doesn't hardly weigh anything. It's very lightweight, so just kind of, I gotta be careful with those. Okay. Now I'm definitely with this one. This one has a permanent home inside a rickshaw case because Willie is, I mean, not Willie, Coco is obsessed with the glass pen. So let's go ahead, we'll make that bigger again, and we'll bring our little weigher. Okay. Gosh, it doesn't weigh anything. I guess it has a little bit of weight, but not much. Okay, can we like... Oh, look at it move. Oh my gosh. 4.1, very unscientific. I'm sure it's probably not balanced perfectly, but that's a ballpark. Okay, let's measure my most used is the Serendipity regular sized. Whoop. 9.6. Hold, it says. I'm holding. Okay, 9.6. Let's try this again. 4.1. Hold. Yeah, so this is double, but it's not a heavy pen. The grip. Someone just told me today in a comment that I must have quite a range of comfortable grips, and I think I do. I think on that I can adjust quite well. The only kind of grips that really bother me are extremely narrow metal grips, where it's metal, cold, and tiny. Then it bothers me more in the winter, not so much in the summer. So I try to use those kind of pens for very short writing sessions where it's just jotting on a list or something. But yeah, I do have a wide range, and I'm not sure what the grip diameter is, but it's definitely... I have to get a new battery for my measuring thing, or I would do that now. But it's comfortable for me, and I don't know if you could tell. I've got a medium-sized hand. I like this pen, and I'm extremely happy. It was such a fluke to be able to find one. I just went in there to their website one day last week, and I figured they'd all be sold out. Now, initially, I didn't want the clear one because I had a feeling it wouldn't show up real good, and might even be something I had a hard time seeing on my desk. But it was the only color in stock in medium, and I got it. And today when I went in, they were out of stock again, but I do think that different places are going to carry these. I hope so. I actually wrote to Goulet Pens telling them, please carry these, and we'll see. I mean, who knows? Something like that that's affordable, it's nice when the places like Van Ness and Goulet and places we order from for little things have them, because that helps. I mean, otherwise we're paying shipping for little bitty items. But anyway, I'm extremely happy that I got to get this. Now I've lost the little cover. Oh, here it is. I really don't want to lose that. I think that's going to be nice to protect the nib. It doesn't sit. It doesn't have a cap, so it's nice that it came with it too. Maybe now the Serendipities do, but I just use a little cut up thing, you know, jerry-rigged or whatever. And I know the parallel nibs, the parallel caps fit on them, but I don't like that. I can't see how far I'm jamming it on, so I like the little lightweight cover. Okay, so that's it. That's everything I can think of, but please ask questions, and I'll try to answer any questions you have. And I'll try to do some links, too, down below, so you can find this and find different places where we can put our name in to find out when it's back in stock and that kind of thing. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the comments. Bye for now.